Hey guys, welcome back to your channel. This is Maverick here, and today we are watching episode 2 of The God of High School. So, the first episode of this certainly left a pretty good impression, right? Sure, some people say that it's all flash and no real substance yet, since we haven't really gotten anything of the story, but I have to say there is something very refreshing about dropping you right into the middle of the action. We've been accustomed to lots of slow burners, be patient and all that, so sometimes it's nice to just have something, boom, right in your face, get you hyped up, and so on and so forth, right? Now then again, whether or not it can sustain the energy for an entire season, that remains to be seen. If it can though, and this is not just bait, well, honestly, I think I would be fine watching this even if the story turns out to be shit, right? So, well, let's get right into the episode and see if the second episode can keep up the energy. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Right. It's original. I get it. Ooh, it's the Pentagon. Yeah, it's the hand of Buddha. The Drulai palm. The palm of Buddha. Mr. President, please evacuate. What is the president doing at the Pentagon? That typically doesn't happen. Like, honestly, the moment he stepped in, you probably have bullets put right into him. But it's an anime. And I'm sure he has some abilities that repels bullets or whatnot. We'll see about that. By the way, typically I still just let the opening play out because so you guys don't need to resync the videos with me if you're watching along. Be your contradiction. This seems more like a song you play at a nightclub or something. Or at a rave. Contradiction! Alright, so we basically saw that in the first episode, right? So hopefully it doesn't just have that. Random so? Okay, so we're already at the aftermath. With the President of the United States? Sure. Right. So I seem to recall that was the preliminaries, right? So have they passed the preliminaries now, or are they still, you know, in a knockout format for the preliminaries? Well, isn't that a nice coincidence? Their neck. But yeah, his neck is. Wow. Seriously? His neck was. But what about your nerves? I mean. Alright, don't question it. Don't question it. Nanomachines. Nanotechnologies. Oh yeah, they did say that he picked a fight with one of the judges, right? Alright, and he's here for the money? What are you here for? What was it again? Moonlight Saber? Something like that? Alright, Moonlight Sword Style. Alright. You know, this is water. And it's a wooden sword. So, I'm just saying, man. It's very possible it could float. Eh, I'm sure they'll find it. Or it'll turn up somewhere. Okay, so it's still the preliminaries tournament. So what, is this only the top one is able to move on? Huh, so it is Tai Chi. Alright. Then this guy's first up. So who is he going up against? This dude? Mr. Gorilla Dude? Mr. Kong? Oh no. Mira's first. Alright. Oh, that was fast. Oh, no, wait. They actually have someone named the Beast here? Alright. My bad! Taekwondo. Figured as much. Alright, Glasses Dude is probably gonna win. Although I have no idea what he's actually using. One punch! Brah! Yeah, Khan. That's what his name. Well, technically, that's his family name, but. Alright, alright. Spare us the philosophy, man. Uh... That? It's not Tai Chi at all. Well, that might. Well. Alright, actually, I probably shouldn't comment on that. Just in case it actually is. Woo! Damn. Let me use my right hand. But seriously, that doesn't seem like Tai Chi at all. He's not really returning the force of the opponent, though. Damn, this guy. No, so that's his fast? Oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. Damn. Ooh. Who's that? I wonder if this is gonna... disqualify. But, okay, never mind all that. I mean, this is just for fighting anyways. Okay. All restraints released. I mean... at least... this is the story that we're waiting for, maybe? I like how, you know, What this dude used was much more like Tai Chi than the Tai Chi dude ever used. Hi, I guess? Hmm. So it seems that they're not just going to disqualify him. Well, I guess that's it. Alright, see you guys after this. Alrighty, so this was the second episode, and yeah, it is keeping up the pacing as well, getting straight to the point and all that. And we are shown a little bit more of the backstory and stuff, right? So, including, I guess, the more overall kind of story, how apparently this sort of abilities, these nanomachines, and these martial arts practitioners, it's only concentrated in Seoul, in South Korea, the Republic of Korea. So obviously, it's gonna get everybody, everybody worried, considering the military applications of this, right? Like, for instance, having a sort of ability that can strike anyone anywhere on Earth. That's a threat, right? That's a national level threat. Or having these sort of nanomachines that can instantly, or maybe not instantly, but at least heal you even when you face life-threatening injuries, like having your neck broken and snapped in half. Um, you know, the military applications of this are endless, right? And so I guess that's what constitutes us looking at that scene at the very beginning with the United States getting all riled up and such. So I guess that's a little bit of the more overarching context or whatnot of the story. And then, of course, we do see a little bit of Mira as well. Well, actually, we saw all of the three main characters and what exactly they're trying to accomplish, right? So Mori just wants to be strong, make his grandpa proud. Daiwi wants to earn money to pay for the medical bills of one of his family members or one of his loved ones, something like that. Mira wants to um, revitalize her dojo, and so on and so forth. And then we also see them kind of sort of bonding. Now, I am glad that Mira didn't turn out to be too much of a bitch in the end. She said sorry, which I think, it is, even though Mori was being a little bit annoying, I don't think really going all ballistic on him is going to solve matters. So, going forward very quickly, right? And then we're already in the elimination rounds, the knockout rounds. So that's good and all. That's good and all. But honestly, the biggest problem I actually have with this particular episode is in the Tai Chi practitioner. What was his name again? Go Galdam or something like that. Go Gamdo. No, sorry, Go Gamdo, I think was his name. Um, and really, that is unlike any sort of Tai Chi that I have ever seen before, right? And I'm not saying that I'm like an expert on these things. However, I have been watching Usha, both reading Usha novels and watching Usha television and whatnot ever since I was in elementary school. I finished all of Jin Yong Works during that time, and really, I think this was just ridiculous to actually call it Tai Chi. Now, if it is a very specific niche branch of Tai Chi or something like that, or maybe it was more modified to actually fit into actual martial arts competitions, something like MMA, mixed martial arts, fighting, and whatnot. Okay, then maybe I can give it a pass, right? Because Tai Chi is not really not really seen as a sort of actual fighting martial arts. It's more of a, how should I call it? It's more of something like yoga, if you will, more for just to promote health and wellness of the mind and body, something like that. But I mean, at least they could have made an effort to use forms actually that is actually utilized within Tai Chi here, right? So really, the things the things that Mr. Gogando was using here was really not like Tai Chi at all. It had, they tried to make it sound like Tai Chi, right? With its with its funny names, weird names, and whatnot, trying to sort of like pay homage to actual these martial arts kinds of naming conventions, which are based on Chinese idioms and whatnot. And so, you gotta put a something mountain, something tiger, something dragon in there. And yeah, I can say that in actual wuxia, actual martial arts, and indeed in Tai Chi, there are this kind of naming conventions. But definitely what he was mentioning there, I have never heard of any of that. And I've heard quite a lot of these martial arts names already. And also the forms, the actual techniques that he were using really did not seem like Tai Chi at all. Tai Chi is really all about the well, theoretically anyways, it's all about the movement of inertia and the manipulation of momentum, right? So there's a very famous sort of idiom attributed to Tai Chi, which is 四两拨千斤, which is basically saying that I can basically I don't need to spend too much of my force, and just by handling the inertia and handling the momentum of things, I can use very little force and leverage it to create a bigger force onto the opponent here, right? It's sort of like also it's sort of like parkour in a way, right? In that it's all about trying to shift the momentum and whatnot. So say for instance, when you see parkour runners running from high heights and jumping to lower, and then jumping off and then being seemingly unscathed, it's because they're able to basically shift their momentum in a way that it doesn't harm them. And so that's similar to what Tai Chi is practicing as well. When someone's coming with you against you at full force, you're not going to just like stay there like a man and then take it like a man and something like that. No, it's all about moving slightly to the side and allowing your opponent to waste most of his energies, things of that sort, and so on and so forth, right? And it's also reflected in the actual style of fighting as well. There are very, very few instances, and in fact, I don't think I've ever seen any instance where there is just a straight punch or indeed punches like this as this practitioner was using here. It's very unlike that. It's more it's more this kind of stuff, right? More shifting momentum. When a punch comes, it's trying to brush it to the side, more of that sort of kind of thing. And even the counter attacks, it's more like within the flow, like or something like that. But definitely not just like wailing at the opponent or something like that, right? Or say for instance, there were a few moments where I thought, hey, okay, maybe he's using something that's actually utilized within Tai Chi. Like there was this one scene where his hands were brought together like this, but then it turned out to be like sort of like what the hell is this? Now there is a form in Tai Chi where after shifting from the side and then okay, I need to like something like this, right? Shifting from the side and then using that sort of shift in momentum to then bring your hands and attack the opponent or something like that. And it's lower. The camera is a little bit too high here, but definitely not something like what the hell is this? And not to mention that he wasn't even actually attacking with that motion. It was just, I don't know, flexing his muscles or something like that. So yeah, really really ridiculous. And also there was this one scene where I think you guys can also see me comment on as well. I was like, oh, that looks kind of similar to something that Tai Chi would use, which is where he basically attacked Kang with his shoulder. Now, I'm not aware of any specific moves that uses his shoulder, but at least that kind of gets the concept of, if it was within the flow of things, then you might, take your whole body and smash it into the opponent or something like that. But even more so than that, elbows. the elbow is a much more commonly utilized form within Tai Chi here. So, like for instance, spinning around or after shifting momentum and then going back with the elbow or something like that. I mean, and this is some very basic stuff. Like, this is not advanced or not. You can literally just look up like the basic. Tai Chi has the fun thing about Tai Chi is that it has, or really a lot of martial arts in general, is that they have what are called basic forms, right? And then all the other sorts of more complicated techniques and whatnot are really coming out of these basic forms. In Tai Chi, there's like in terms of the forms of the hand and whatnot, there's like 8 or 13 depending on which specific or actually I think there's also 24 and 36 as well, depending on which particular variant of Tai Chi that you are talking about, but they're basically all the same. You really rarely have things like straight punches or whatnot, or hook punches in Tai Chi. And in fact, I don't think I've ever seen something like that in Tai Chi before. So, and honestly, I feel like what Kong did in this episode, and indeed what Mori did in this episode, was much more nearer to what a Tai Chi practitioner would actually try to do, at least theoretically. So, if we recall, there was this scene where Gogamdo was a palm towards Kong, attacking Kong, right? A moment of peace and clarity, and then putting all of his spirit into this one palm technique, right? And then we actually see Kong receive the force of that attack, but then also neutralizing it by sort of like shifting all the force down into the ground. Or I guess you could say that it basically used some kind of technique to cancel it out, right? And that would be much more similar to what a Tai Chi practitioner would try to do, honestly. Or for instance, during the end there, when Mori was meeting Kong's kick in midair, right? We can see him first meet his their legs were meeting each other, and then Mori actually did something like he basically pushed Kong's leg down, right? So think of these as their legs, and then this one would be Mori's leg, and then he shifted his leg down into basically to sort of dispel all the energy that was coming from Kong here, right? And that again is much more similar to Tai Chi than what Gogamdo was actually using here. So no wonder he lost, right? He wasn't even actually using Tai Chi. And sure, I mean, I fully accept that if, it's just due to my limited exposure and whatnot, and there actually are forms of Tai Chi like Gogamdo was using, okay, I'd be more than happy to retract my statements upon evidence or whatnot. But really, no, it's not exactly something to get worked out about, right? It's not like I want to uphold the honor of Tai Chi or anything. It's just that I feel like since this is already a martial arts themed anime themed work, you could at least get the martial arts correct, right? And again, if it is a very specific variant or whatnot, very niche variant or an adopted version or perhaps even a Korean specific version, then I would gladly please tell me, and I would gladly obtain this knowledge for future use, right? So anyways, that was a long tangent about Tai Chi, but I mean, I really didn't enjoy that fight so much. I thought it was quite a train wreck. So later on, when Mori came out and then they started fighting against each other, I could take it a little bit more there because, well, I don't understand Taekwondo as much, and it seemed cool to me, so whatever, right? But yeah. Anyways, that was basically it. I mean, even I don't know. I like back in episode 1, I was already kind of going forward and saying, okay, I can kind of see like the different martial arts that these guys are using. I think I did identify Tai Chi here back in episode 1. And then I also said that Taekwondo, I said Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and so on and so forth. And even what Gogamdo was using back in episode 1 was much more near what Tai Chi would look like than what he was using here. So like, I don't know. I guess maybe the story is trying to say that he actually did lose his cool and was not really utilizing his techniques all that well or something like that. But I don't know, man. But any case, so yeah, at least Mori came out and played the role of the hero. And obviously, since they haven't really announced his punishment yet, I don't think he's gonna get suspended. This would be a rather short anime if that was the case, since we are still expecting him to actually eventually make his way into the actual tournament and then try to beat everyone and gain the title there and whatnot. So there probably is some leeway being allowed. So we'll have to go to the next episode and see what that is. But yeah. Anyways, that's basically my thoughts for this episode. I mean, the energy was definitely still there. The pacing was definitely still there. I just wish that they could have better utilized the fight between Kong and Go. Yeah, that was to me a little bit disappointing. But hey, that's only because I do like Usha and I like to read up, and also, you know, I like to look at these kind of things, right? So perhaps for most people, it's, you know, it's just a cool fight, and then the Taichi practitioner got himself beat up, which honestly would probably be true to real life as well, since like I said, Taichi is not really known as a practical martial art. But anyways, that's it for episode 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts on this episode, and I will see you guys next week as well. Bye bye.